Welcome to World Conflicts. March 18, 2025. Pacific Ocean, 3:47 a.m. The USS Gerald R. Ford cuts through black water. On the flight deck, an F-35C sits motionless. Pilot callsign Viper runs through pre-flight checks. The aircraft carrier rocks gently in 15-foot swells. Above, no stars, just clouds and darkness. Then the electromagnetic catapult fires. In 2 seconds, the F-35C accelerates from 0 to 150 miles per hour. No steam, no explosions, just pure electromagnetic force propelling 40 tons of aircraft into the night. Viper climbs. The stealth fighter vanishes from radar. Invisible to enemies, connected to everything. A node in a network that spans space, sea, air, and land. This is American military technology. Not science fiction, not future capability. Right now. For 70 years, the United States military has maintained technological dominance over every adversary. While Russia struggles with sanctions and China races to catch up, America operates systems no other nation can match. Not because of luck, not because of spending alone, because American innovation turned imagination into hardware that works. But that edge is narrowing. China fields more ships. Russia deploys hypersonic missiles. Iran swarms with drones. The question isn't whether America has superior technology. The question is, will these 5 technologies be enough to keep it that way? Number 5, hypersonic weapons. The race against time. December 2024, Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, Florida, 11:23 a.m. The common hypersonic glide body sits atop its booster, 40 feet tall, matte black, designed to fly faster than the speed of sound multiplied by 5. The countdown reaches 0. The rocket ignites. The glide body climbs into the stratosphere, then separates. It begins its descent, not falling, maneuvering, traveling at Mach 7, nearly 5,400 miles per hour. Too fast for most radars to track, too maneuverable for traditional defenses to intercept. It strikes the target precisely. End-to-end success. The U.S. Army and Navy just demonstrated what Russia and China have fielded for years, an operational hypersonic weapon. Hypersonic weapons are capable of flying faster than Mach 5, or more than 3,836 miles per hour, and can maneuver between varying altitudes, making them difficult to detect. Unlike ballistic missiles that follow predictable arcs, hypersonic glide vehicles, HGVs, can change course mid-flight, evading missile defenses designed for predictable targets. The Army's long-range hypersonic weapon, nicknamed Dark Eagle, represents America's entry into the hypersonic age. The Army will field its long-range hypersonic weapon to the first unit by the end of fiscal year 2025. The first multi-domain task force at Joint Base Lewis McChord, Washington, will receive the first battery, 8 missiles, launchers, trucks, trailers, and the Battle Operations Center. But America arrived late to this race. Both Russia and China are believed to have operational hypersonic glide vehicles, potentially capable of delivering nuclear payloads. Russia's Kinzhal missile struck Ukraine in 2022, the first combat use of hypersonic weapons. China's DF-17 entered service in 2020. America's first operational deployment comes in 2025, years behind schedule. The delays stem from technical challenges. Hypersonic weapons in the U.S. are designed for conventional use, requiring higher precision compared to their nuclear-armed Russian and Chinese counterparts. This increases the technical challenges of their development and deployment. A nuclear warhead can afford to miss by miles. A conventional warhead must hit within meters. Development proved harder than anticipated. The Army originally planned to field Dark Eagle in fall 2023. Testing failures, range problems, and integration challenges pushed the timeline back 2 years. While the plan to field the weapon to the U.S. Army has taken nearly 2 years longer than planned, Army officials have been quick to point out that missile development programs typically take about 10 years. The LRHW program is only just beyond the 5-year mark. The Navy's version, Conventional Prompt Strike, will launch from Zumwalt-class destroyers and Virginia-class submarines. Each ship will carry 12 missiles capable of striking targets anywhere within 1,700 miles in minutes. The capability fundamentally changes naval warfare. A destroyer off the coast can strike inland targets faster than aircraft can scramble. The Pentagon's FY 2026 budget request for hypersonic research was $3.9 billion, down from $6.9 billion in the FY 2025 request. The cut signals a shift from prototyping to production. America has proven the technology works. Now it must build enough weapons to matter. But quantity alone doesn't guarantee success. Defending against hypersonic weapons remains unsolved. Most terrestrial-based radars cannot detect hypersonic weapons until late in the weapon's flight due to line-of-sight limitations of radar detection. This leaves minimal time for a defender to launch interceptors that could neutralize an inbound weapon. The Space Development Agency is building tracking satellites specifically designed to detect hypersonic threats. The Hypersonic and Ballistic Tracking Space Sensor, HBTSS, will provide early warning. A March 2025 MDA and U.S. Navy test demonstrated that HBTSS data could detect, track, and perform a simulated engagement of a maneuvering hypersonic target. But early warning isn't interception. The Glide Phase Interceptor, a sea-based missile designed to shoot down hypersonic weapons, won't reach initial operational capability until 2029 at the earliest. America can fire hypersonic weapons. It can't stop them yet. The strategic implications are profound. Hypersonic weapons compress decision-making time from 30 minutes to 5. Leaders have less time to assess threats, confirm targets, authorize responses. Mistakes become more likely. Escalation becomes faster. Yet America must field these weapons. Russia and China have them. Choosing not to develop hypersonics wouldn't prevent their proliferation. It would just ensure America lacks parity. Dark Eagle will deploy in 2025. Conventional Prompt Strike follows in 2027. The Air Force's Hypersonic Attack Cruise Missile, an air-breathing scramjet missile, targets 2027 deployment. Each system extends American reach, compresses enemy decision time, and demonstrates that technological advantage America once enjoyed exclusively has become contested. The race isn't over. It's accelerating, and America can't afford to finish second. Number 2. Cyber warfare. The invisible battlefield. September 10th, 2025. Vandenberg Space Force Base, California, 8:42 a.m. A Falcon 9 rocket lifts 21 satellites into orbit. Not GPS satellites, not communication birds. These are something new. The Space Development Agency's Tranche 1 transport layer. Small satellites, networked together, designed to pass targeting data from space-based sensors to missile interceptors in seconds. This is the future of warfare, and it's launching right now. The Space Force is poised to launch 100 or more satellites into orbit in 2025, the service's top intelligence officer said this week, nearly doubling the previously known number of USF spacecraft. That's more satellites in 1 year than the service operated total 2 years ago. The expansion isn't about quantity, it's about resilience. For decades, American military space architecture relied on a handful of massive, expensive satellites. Historically, the Department of Defense has invested in billion-dollar Battlestar Galacticas that are big, juicy targets, says Derek Tornair, director of the Space Force's Space Development Agency. We wanted to go to an architecture that gave us resilience against threats and that we could upgrade rapidly every 2 years. Big satellites in geosynchronous orbit, 22,000 miles up, offered incredible capability but catastrophic vulnerability. One anti-satellite weapon could blind American missile warning. One cyber attack could silence military communications. One laser strike could cripple reconnaissance. The new architecture disperses capability across hundreds of smaller satellites in low Earth orbit. As threats to space expand, we can no longer rely on a strategy of putting most